is Rachel, and today I'm here with Task 5 of the Read Harder Challenge. So Task 5 is to read a book by a journalist or about journalism. So I feel like this really is a broad range because a lot of authors have been journalists at some point. So one right off the top of my head that I thought of immediately when I read this was Saba from the Ember and the Ash series. She used to be a journalist, so any of those books would count then because she used to be a journalist. Which that could be an option for this because I still have not read book 3, a whole long story about that, but I've kind of been putting it off, but this could work for this challenge. I could reread that series so far. That would definitely work. Another author that I thought of immediately, Stieg Larsson, the Millennium series guy, the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo series. He was a journalist, so all of those books would count. Now, I don't know about the new guy because Stieg Larsson has passed away and there is a new author that has taken his place. And I can find it. Let me look it up because I shouldn't just throw that out there and not look it up, you know, because we've got internet these days. How dare I just leave it alone? David Lagerkrantz. Now, I think he's taken, like, notes and characters and things from Stieg Larsson, so I don't know if that would count. We're getting really nitpicky here, but I am not through Stieg Larsson's book specifically yet, so I'm thinking I am on the third book? The silver one, a girl that that kicked the hornet's nest. So that could be an option. And if you have not read A Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, that could be an option for you as well. Another one is The Hot Zone. This is by Richard Preston, who I believe used to be a journalist, and slash I would call still is a journalist. The Hot Zone is the terrifying true story of the origins of the Ebola virus. And I've told you in a previous video how much I love, like, deadly viruses and diseases. So this could be a good one. I know that one of our biology classes reads this book occasionally for one of the biology classes we offer at the high school. So this would be fun to read, to be able to talk about the kids with. This could be a very, very interesting. Another one that is on my radar, again, same situation, we have it at my high school, so this would be a good one to read with the kids, is The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks by Rebecca Skloot. I believe she is a journalist, so this should definitely work for this category, and this is a very fascinating case because Henrietta Lacks was a black woman whose body was kind of donated to science without her consent, and a lot of awesome health-based scientific discoveries occurred because of these experimentations with her body. But then how do we feel about that since she really didn't give consent? So I'm interested in this story. I think it would be a great story. I believe it's been made into a movie too, so that could be fun. Next is another one, same story. I've been wanting to read it. We have it at the high school library, and this is In Cold Blood by Truman Capote. I always want to call it In True Blood by Truman Capote. So this is, I believe, would count because I think he was a journalist, and I'm very, very interested in this case. I love true crime stuff, so this is right in my wheelhouse. Again, it would be nice just to have the reference to talk to the kids about it, and I actually own a copy of this book, so that would be perfect. Another one that I think would work is pretty much any book written by Nellie Bly about her time in the madhouse. She kind of voluntarily went undercover into this asylum and then wrote her journalistic take on it afterward. So I've heard this story before. I think the first time I heard about it was on Drunk History, which, you know, that I'm sure I got all the facts there. But yeah, this would totally work because she was doing it for journalistic purposes and she wrote it, so I would assume that would work. Next up is The Professor and the Madman, A Tale of Murder and Sanity and the Making of the Oxford English Dictionary by Simon Winchester. This sounds just fantastic based on the title alone. That's why it made it onto my list. As far as I know, this would work for this one. Very journalistically based, and I don't remember if I own this one or not, but I'm very interested. It's solidly on the list of possibilities. And last but not least is The Monster of Florence by Douglas Preston. This was a book that my mom has recommended to me, and this is, I believe, like a narrative nonfiction account of the author's search for this kind of monster that plagued Florence back in the something century, a long time ago, basically. And he's going back in more of a present day time, talking to people and kind of digging in, as journalists do, into this true crime event. And since that's what my mom recommended, it had to go on the list, right? And last but not least, I wanted to throw out one that I would recommend to you. It is The Psychopath Test, A Journey Through the Madness Industry by Jon Ronson. It is fantastic, creepy, interesting, amazing. So if you have not read The Psychopath Test yet, that would be my recommendation for you. And if you have any recommendations for us, definitely leave them down below. If anything has sparked your interest, let us know down below. And thank you so much for watching about Task 5. I'll see you tomorrow with Task number 6.